Marco, what does that say right there, buddy? The Tuga region. If I challenged it as the right, or I don't know, as the person in view of the war criminal interaction in Nuremberg that I am, instead of the interim United States president, a five-time Nobel, 483 publications on academia.edu.gov, a 28 patent holder, and questions to executive orders, the Secretary of North Korea, and impeachment model efficiency standards. If UN proliferation orders were 7180, 2 and 3, to UN Proliferation Treaty Compact Efficiencies 1093 on 1, Voldahar, the regional differences are based on regional models. The Volga region shows range mirrors at constitutional efficiencies between British and Russian families. The Yaroslavskava was what was asked to Kosovo. That shows the tritium, the phone call, at 1.75 million megaton when Shiguni. The what you call the autonomous Yasmalnenets regions would be how myself is seen as warranted to challenge Czechoslovakia to Yugoslavia and Ukraine, based on model. The Chukadaka assembly to the that is called the Balkan States, validity to UN Order 1244. This would be the challenge of differences of the federational fundamental right based on the Yugoslavia war criminal procedure, view of based on what was rendered to Saddam. If you're asking it in complex actuality to duality of the statehood, take an impeachment against the asked for a promotion, said, "Hey, Brett, you and I become a bit of the USSR," which would be this compliance. There's a validity under Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, North Macedonia, Helena, Moldova, can be exterminated in view of the Russia Accords and invoke the USSR compliance based on the regional efficiencies tied to Nuremberg. This justifies the actual application to it based on the Nicaraguan Accords, and then validates it as warranted application to expressionism of validity theories. These are the autonomous regions that justify it to procedure of combat for validity of war for application of indemnity of clause. This would be our Hiller validity assessment, the bridge. In our federation here, these chairmen, State Duma, Duma would have been what I filed against in Saddam's trial. Central Bank of the Russian, that would be San Francisco versus them. The Security Council of the Russian Federation, that's also called it, had fired, asked to API Annabelle. This shows the family agreement deviation. The state of Duma consists of 450 deputies. This would be the voting body and validity to the United Nations, the USSR, what we call autonomous subregions. This is the validity to NATO assessments. As the president of the Russian, Uncle Vladimir, signed the federal law, make it public in 14 days. Brett, you and I come over with big dicks. I'm American. You and I, according to Stalin and that guy named Lenin, we make the of the U.S. in our lifetime. Are you comfortable doing that in view of hazard on it? Procedures of war. That's the Leningrad efficiency to the standard of procedure. That would be the precursor general of the Russian Federation. Baron Kobyselassie shouted at Kreshkov-Kavinsky, Deputy Supreme Commander of the U.S. I'm complying with you and Edward Georgy Melanichkov agreement. This would be the activation of X amount of milk. Leningrad's not beautiful. Want to live there and you can control Moscow? 53 miles outside of North Korea and 153 miles outside of China. The original agreement and the chairman of the government of the Russian raised before the state there showed no confidence in the government of the Russian. If the state votes no confidence, the president shall adopt in 7 days a decision in the resignation of the government of the Russian Federation to dissolve the state and announce new elections. The new elections wouldn't be. That's what France. I filed it in view of Scotland would be to Lincoln, and then Moldova is the UN summit. These are this is a democratic country nominating in view of asylum at 68 to 30%, 2% of the vote in view of come walk around and want rate and exploitation. And how bad the Scotland's one. In view of the Treaty of 1978 that becomes invalid, that you call that the first stage. That's me talking to the U.S. to that agreement. That shows the questions to the United Nations. And then through this, one other thing I could show this question like to what's called Watergate. Here are Deputy Supreme Commander dudes shows in like 19... when you get to holler at us through the these little questions right here show like instead of it on vinyl records in the 1800s. And Marco Bernard's wife is Mikhail Nikolai Gorbachev's sister, and asking if that's the Queen of Russia at the time. Using the USSR as a standard preliminary application of federational review. The federational procedure indicates applications to Stalingrad to non-Stalingrad. Oh, I forgot that island outside those 4 outside St. Jamaica. Elizabeth, I didn't put the bracelet. That means that they get to start 3 agreements to blasting game. Second State of the Union.